ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestling Lounge. I am your host, Brian, joined by my co-host, Jason. Welcome to the Wrestling Lounge, Jason.
Oh, thank you, Brian. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Just been busy getting ready for the show today.
All right. Well, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Palmer Watkins. He plays Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital.
How's it going?
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. Okay. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Good.
Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And fans, we want to let you know that we are transitioning from the Wrestling Lounge. As I spoke to Robert earlier today, and we're transitioning from the Wrestling Lounge to the WSE Lounge. We're gonna WSE stands for Wrestling Soaps Entertainment. That way we cater to all the fans, and it appeals to all the fans out there that are fans of the show. And I wanted to ask you, Robert, would you just do a promo, just say you're Robert Palmer Watkins, plays Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital, and you're listening to the WSE Lounge?
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, I'm Robert Palmer Watkins. I play Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital, and you are listening to the WSE Lounge.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
When did you decide that you wanted to be an actor?
Well, let's see. When I was a little kid, I always, I was kind of the ham in the family. I always wanted to, put my little sister in a show or grab the video camera and put on a play or make a movie. Or I was always grabbing all the neighborhood kids and putting on some type of sketch comedy show or a skit or whatever. So I guess I always had it in me, I don't think I actually considered it as a career until I was about 14 or 15 when I did my first play in high school.
Wow. So that kind of sounds like me when I was younger. I would always be grabbing the camera and trying to act like the people on TV or something. And speaking of that though, it's kind of funny you said that about you always grab the camera and you would be filming stuff, and right now your character on General Hospital, you've actually got this movie studio thing going on where you're trying to film a movie and and talking about moving back to California, and that's really interesting.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny how it all worked out. That this is, I've gotten some other roles before this and some smaller roles in some movies and some commercials and little parts on TV, but this has definitely been my big break, I guess you could call it, my biggest role yet. So it's pretty cool that the character I'm playing is, an artistic guy, and he's really into acting and movies and directing, because I can relate to that.
Uh-huh.
He was in California for 7 years pursuing, film and as a director and a filmmaker, and I was basically in LA for 7 years pursuing acting before I booked General Hospital. So it's kind of cool how it works out, and how my own life parallels with Dillon Quartermaine's life. I can relate to that.
It really is. It really is. That's just so amazing.
Yeah.
My co-host has a question for you.
Okay.
Yes. Who?
How you doing?
Is it? Oh well. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Just been very busy. We got the transition into the show, and you know how all that goes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, who is a character on General Hospital who you would love to work with that you have not worked with yet?
A lot of the fans have mentioned to me on Twitter and through social media that the old Dillon played by Scott Clifton, his character was really good friends with Lucas, played by Ryan Carnes. And apparently they were really good friends back in the day, and I have yet to have a scene with him. So for the mere sake of keeping a consistent storyline and having those characters reunite, I'd like for Dillon and Lucas to, just be friends again. I think that if they had a good relationship in the past, it would be nice for them to have a scene together. So hopefully that happens soon. And as far as actors that I'd really love to work with more, I'd really love to have a scene with Carly, and I'd love to have more scenes with Sonny. I don't know how that would happen, how the storylines would intermingle to allow that, but I just really think they're amazing actors, and I had the chance to get to know Carly or Laura Wright when I was in Boston for a General Hospital fan event, and she just seems like a really down to earth person, and then I've had a couple little scenes with Sonny over the past 8 months, and I liked working with him. He's such a good actor, and I feel like I could learn a lot from him, so I'd love to have more scenes with him as well.
And that is a very iconic character, by the way, the Sonny Corinthos character. Now your character, Dillon Quartermaine, I mean, the Quartermaines have been on the show forever. I mean, that's got to be great to be Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I had no idea when I was auditioning for the role. I didn't realize what character it was going to be because they kind of keep it secret. They don't really tell you who you're auditioning for. It's a fake name usually. So I actually didn't realize that I was, up for the role of Dillon Quartermaine until I booked the role. They didn't even tell me who the character was until I actually booked it. They called my manager and they said, Robert, we're giving the role to Robert, and he's playing Dillon Quartermaine. He's a legacy character he's in the legacy family on the show. So yeah, I mean, it was so amazing and overwhelming in a way because, you stepping into a role that's known so well and a family name that's been on the show forever, you want to do it justice, and you want to please all the fans and everything. But it's been an amazing transition, and Scott Clifton kind of paved the way and made this character so unique and fun to play, and I'm kind of trying to bring my own elements to the character while keeping what everybody loved about Scott Clifton playing the role.
Your own little flair, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. I want to make it my own, but at the same time, I want to keep some of the qualities that everybody loved about Dillon. But he's a little different now because it's been 7 or 8 years since he's been on the show, and he's grown up and he's lived in LA. So I think it makes sense that a new actor is playing the role, and I'm just grateful that I get to be that actor.
I must say that. Go ahead, Jason.
That's one thing about soaps is the transitioning of the actors, as one actor's in and then he's out in that role, and you kind of have to mesh it together and go from there, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's very, very interesting in soaps how actors jump around and there's recasts done, and one actor from one soap will jump to another soap and play a role that another actor, you know what I mean? It's such a different world. I wasn't used to it, but it makes sense, I mean, the contracts are a few years, and usually actors either want to continue playing the role because they're invested in it, or they want to try something new. Creatively, they want to try a different role or go to a different show. So I totally understand why there are recasts, but it's funny. It's a funny world, soap operas, because I don't know any other platform on TV or movies where actors switch from show to show like they do on soap operas. I'm very grateful that they do that, because otherwise I wouldn't have a job right now. If there weren't recasts, then I wouldn't be Dillon Quartermaine right now. So I'm grateful.
Correct. I mean, I would think that the fans would want the characters to be a lot alike, the way they act and even their appearance. So That's very hard to do, and you've done a great job.
Well, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. I think more credit is due to Mark Teschner and Frank Valentini and all of the writers and people that were in the decision making process, the producers that casted me. I think Mark Teschner he's just really good at finding people and capturing a similar vibe. He's the one that casted Scott Clifton back in the day, and then he found me, and I think he's good at just seeing this guy will work. I can see him. He has a similar quality to what that other actor had. It might not be the same. We might not look exactly the same or act exactly the same, but I think he finds a similar essence within people, and I think that's key, really.
Right.
So.
Well, I must say that you answered my question. I was going to ask you what it was like to fill the shoes of Scott Clifton, but you've answered that question for me. But speaking of questions, we've got a fan on hold that wants to ask you a question.
What's that?
We have a fan on the air we have a fan on hold that wants to ask you a question.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, 916, you're on the air.
Robert Walker.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
Yes.
Doing good. Tony Singing Eagle, Sacramento.
Hi. How are you? Good to hear from you.
I'm doing fine. Good to connect voice to voice once.
Yes.
I wanted to, first of all, just in general, the stuff that you're doing is, I told you this once before on social media, on Facebook, but it's such a breath of fresh air the way that you just slipped in as if you've been there all your life. You made it look like you just put on just a really well-worn sweater and just slipped right into it. So, and that's got to be difficult.
I really appreciate that. And what is your full name again?
Tony Singing Eagle.
Yes, I know you from social media. Thank you. I remember you commenting to me and saying that, and I got to say that means the world to me, because coming from a fan like you who watches the show and supports the show like you do, that's all I can ask for, is that I'm just grateful that the fans opened their mind to a new actor playing the role. I know it's hard sometimes when somebody is recast, but everybody's been really supportive, and I think honestly I think me playing this role was just kind of meant to be, and I think that's why it's been an easy transition, because like I said, I think Mark Teschner has an eye for what will work, and I think I was just ready. I think I was ready to play this role, and just kind of everything fell into place. So I really appreciate that, though. Thank you.
Yeah, it just seems so natural. Even a lot of times when they're not necessarily recast, just new guys on the block.
Right.
You can just tell that sometimes, as professional as you guys are, and that's your job, you're paid to do it, sometimes still it comes across like, okay, I got to find my, get my bearings here. But you just took over like you had been there since day one of your birth. And that's one of the things that surprised me. I was rather curious in terms of the way that they're doing it now, because I know that it's shot in segments. They're doing it more like film, and everything is out of sequence probably. But do you guys, when you get a script, do you just totally memorize the entire part that you're doing on those pages, or do you guys use more of a, like what's called a rehearse record method, which is rehearse a little bit, then go record it, or do you come in totally ready to go and just do whatever they tell you?
So we usually get a packet, a few days beforehand, and honestly, we kind of have to come in pretty much memorized. I mean, how it works is, whatever your call time is, you'll get there. You'll be called immediately. You'll go up to blocking, which is basically where you and whoever else is in the scene with you, whatever other actors are in the scene with you, will do a blocking where you're with the director and you literally just read through the lines. You have your script in your hand. You read through the lines and you go over, okay, now you're going to walk to the desk. Now you're going to go over here. Now you're going to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you kind of just write down those little notes. That's very, very fast. Yeah, just write down your marks. Then you go back downstairs, you go to wardrobe, get your outfit for the day, you go to hair and makeup, get that done. Then you go back to your dressing room and you have maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Sometimes you'll have a little longer, it depends. But you got a little time there where you can look at your lines, make sure you know everything. You can find your scene partner, hope that they have some time to run the lines with you. But then, once you go up there and it's your call time to be on set to shoot, you pretty much have to know you got to know your lines, because even though they break it into sections, you shoot them all in a row. So you go up, you do each scene, usually separately, but you'll do like a rehearsal first, where you do it without your script, and you do it just like you would do it when you're shooting. And then if there's any errors or whatever, you talk to the director, and then you shoot it, and then you shoot that scene, and then you do the next one, and you do a little rehearsal, and then you shoot it, and you do a little rehearsal. So, as far as like, are there breaks in between? Technically, I guess we do cut in between each scene, but it's not like it's a break where you can go memorize your lines. You break for like a minute to set up maybe a different camera angle or whatever. But once you get on set, you pretty much have to know all of those scenes.
Right, and you have no idea where it fits in with the general story, I'm guessing, because you're only given a certain number of pages.
Exactly. Now, I'll try to, most of us will try to talk to the other actors and kind of figure out, okay, so we kind of have an idea, like this is most likely going to come after the scene where my mom is yelling at my dad, because this scene is about me talking about that conversation. So, we kind of have an idea, or if we're really lost, we'll ask the director, or we'll ask the producer, or we'll ask other actors on set, and we'll say, hey, I'm having a conversation in this scene about something you said in yesterday's episode, and I don't know what that was about. Can you fill me in so I know what I'm talking about? But we try to stay on top of the storyline, and I try to watch, I'll try to watch a lot of the episodes just so I have an idea what's going on in other people's storylines, because you never know when your character is going to cross over and merge into one of those storylines. So it's nice to keep up with everything that's going on,
Right.
Listen. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
That absolutely, and I didn't mean rehearse, record in the sense of coming in. It's more like you got everything memorized, but then sometimes they will take it and they'll just break it, then do the next one, and they'll run it a few times and then record it. And that's more of the BBC style. But I kind of figured you just have to have your lines down. It's like anything else going into stage production or anything. Listen, real quick, I wanted to thank you for your connection this morning on that situation tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. I've never been interviewed on one of these things before, so let's see what happens. Yeah, that's why I said.
Yes, sir. No, that's awesome.
I don't know why.
That's pretty cool. I saw that this morning, and I was excited for you. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. All right. Well, listen, best to you. Oh, and keep up the music, mate. Everything you're doing online sounds really good. I'm hoping you do more of the full-blown videos.
Thank you. We got one on the way, so I appreciate it too. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Have a
good
great day.
Good talking for your time, sir. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool to talk to him. He's been very supportive since I started, so it's cool to talk to him.
Oh, all right. That's awesome. I wanted to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about Billionaire on YouTube?
Yeah, man. Billionaire, that was a little cover I did with some friends. A couple years ago, I wanted to audition for the show The X Factor, and we weren't able to make it to the live audition, so my friends and I sent in that tape. Unfortunately, I think we sent it in, and it didn't make it in time for the deadline, and I believe the show is now canceled. But, it was from that. I've got a bunch of friends out here. I've got a really solid group of friends, and we're all actors and musicians and singers and comedians and whatever. So, I'm always collaborating with different people in my group of friends and doing music and stuff. And that's what Tony was just mentioning. He said, keep doing your music, because I've kind of started doing a little thing that I call Funk It Friday. We don't do it every Friday, but occasionally on Fridays we'll do a cover of a song that's popular, or we'll do a song, a song that was a hit or a classic song from, a decade ago or so. But basically it's just me and my buddy Victor. He's one of my roommates, and he plays guitar and I sing, and sometimes I'll play an instrument too. But And then recently we released a music video where I had a few more of my friends involved in it. It's actually on YouTube now. It's a cover of the Selena Gomez song called "Good for You," and it did really, really well.
Oh,
I think it's at 35. Yeah, so it's been fun. It's been fun. I think that video got like 35,000 views. So Brittany Sharpie, who plays Valerie on General Hospital, is actually in the music video with me as well. So that was really cool to work with her. And I've actually got another music video coming out soon that I'm working on with some friends. So that's a surprise, though. I don't want to give away too much information, but that's going to be a good one. I'm excited about that. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, basically the Billionaire video was one of the first music kind of things that we filmed, and since then we've started really developing it and working more and more on music. It's just nice now because now that I have this role on General Hospital, in my spare time, I can work on all the other stuff I love, and one of the things that I love is music. So now I can actually focus on that a little bit.
Awesome.
Any chance of an album?
What's that?
Do we have any chance of an album?
I would love to make an album. I really hope that that's in my future. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just really developing my voice, and I'm kind of finding people that play instruments and want to work with me and work together and collaborate well. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens, but I would love nothing more than to one day make an album or maybe even do some Broadway stuff. Singing's always been a big part of my life. I just kind of I really wanted to focus in on acting because, you know, I know how hard it is to make it in any area of entertainment. So I decided a few years back to just really focus in on one thing, make it in that one thing, and then try to start branching out more and more with the other stuff I love, you know. So now is the time to do that.
That's
awesome.
Understandable.
I wanted to ask you something that I know that a lot of the fans out there probably want to know, and I know you probably can't go into too many details, but do you think your character will end up with Lulu, Valerie, or someone else?
You know, that's one of the biggest, you're right, that's a big question. I don't know. I think right now Dillon is still in love with Lulu. I think he is really good friends with Valerie, and there's an attraction there for sure. I think they're physically attracted and they're really good friends. So maybe I think he's in love with Lulu. He has a little crush on Valerie, and he's got this like love-hate friendship with Maxie, which I could see that developing into something as well. But honestly, right now, I mean, the only thing I know storyline-wise are the next two scripts that I have, which are this coming week, and nothing is developing as of right now. But I'm sure the writers have a plan. I think what I would like to see happen right now, I think he's still in love with Lulu. I think he needs some time to get over that first, you know, before he jumps right into a relationship with anybody else. Because as we saw, Dillon jumped into a relationship with Valerie, and neither of them were really invested in it, and it ended badly. So I think for Dillon's own,
I think that was kind of I guess you could say make up sex, or you know, whatever, you know, trying to make the other person jealous, you know.
Exactly. So I think for his own sanity, he should probably just take a month or two to really just get his life together and get over Lulu, because it doesn't seem like she feels the same way about him right now. Now that could change, as we know, soaps can easily change. But for now, I think that's how it needs to be. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I mean, you know, I've got a 4-year contract, so there's a lot that can happen in 4 years with these characters.
That's true. And you know, speaking of that, I know they call it stars, I believe, in the soap opera world, where they age the kids on there. You know, they make them older and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you know, they've already aged Jocelyn. You know, they've aged Jocelyn, and I tell you, I really love Nicholas Beckel, who plays Spencer. I think he does a phenomenal job with that character.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's amazing. man, that kid is just like on point every day. Every time I see that kid act, I'd love to have some scenes with him too. But I don't know if he's been on the show for a few weeks or a couple months. I think he's filming a pilot or something for Nickelodeon or for Disney right now.
Yeah, I think he's filming a TV show for the Disney Channel coming out in the spring.
So,
yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back, though. You know, he's one of those...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, I'm sure, I think he's filming something now, but I think he's one of those actors that kind of comes and goes. So I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be back soon.
What was it like for you working, and I know this had to be a great honor, but I just had to ask you, what was it like for you working with Anthony Geary during his exit storyline on GH?
It was awesome. Anthony Geary is an amazing actor, an amazing human being. He was in my very first scene. I was in the scene with him and my mom, and he came right up to me. He shook my hand, and he said, he said his name, even though I already knew what his name was. And he just wished me the best, wished me luck, and then, I got to work with him for a couple months, and we had several good talks off set where he would just kind of inspire me, and he told me that he thought that I was good and I have a lot of potential and to just keep working hard. And if there are days where I get frustrated or I don't have a ton of lines or my character's storyline isn't as prevalent as I would like it to be, to just keep going and get through it and know that there's ups and downs and just hold on to the ups because they're worth it, and I can't say enough good things about him. He's awesome. Working with such an iconic character and actor like him was just a dream come true. I didn't know much about him before being on the show because I didn't grow up watching soaps myself, but my grandmother did and my aunt did as well. So they filled me in, and I recognized him obviously, but
yeah,
it was pretty cool and pretty surreal to get to work with him.
Well, that is something definitely to put on your resume. That you worked with Anthony Geary. Now another question that I know a lot of General Hospital fans are probably wondering. I've been wondering myself. Is there any chance, do you think, in the future of your character catching on to what your father, who's played by Richard Burgee, Paul, is actually up to? Do you think there's any chance of your character catching up to his schemes and everything?
Yeah, I mean, totally. That's going to happen. It's a soap. They're going to love that whole. They're going to love that whole conflict and drama between Dillon and his father. Now, when it's going to happen, I don't know that. I know that Dillon just kind of found out that Dillon is starting to find out now that his dad is not as honest as he was hoping he was because he slept with another woman. And he's a little upset at him for, kind of leading his mom on and leading Tracy on. But I don't think he doesn't know anything yet about, my dad's involvement with the mob and with, the guns and all of that stuff. So when that hits the surface, there's definitely going to be some good fight scenes and drama, I'm sure. I just don't know.
And I'm sure then you're probably working with Sonny Corinthos more too. Maurice Bernard.
See, that's kind of what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that'll tie me into maybe the mob. I would love to be tied into the mob storyline and the crime, and somehow get twisted up in that knot with my dad or something. I don't know. I think that would be a lot of fun to play. But it's hard to say when it'll happen or where the story's going to go. As soon as I start trying to guess, where Dillon's going to end up in a few weeks, I have it planned out in my head, and then I'm completely wrong. So I've learned to just kind of go with the flow and take the scripts as they come to me. Otherwise, you get your hopes set on something, and then it doesn't happen. So.
Yeah, well, I guess they throw you a curveball. You think you got it, and then they throw you, throw a wrench in the mix, or throw a curveball at you, and you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I thought for sure I was going to probably end up with Lulu there for a little bit. or at least have a, or at least date her for a while. And it looks like that's not happening now. So it's just hard to predict, but it keeps it exciting. It's kind of cool to not know what's going to happen next week. It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I mean, because if you know, it kind of ruins the moment for you,
Yeah, I think when you don't know, there's something spontaneous about just being in the moment, and it's more realistic that way, because in life, I don't know what's going to happen to me personally, Robert Watkins. I don't know what's going to happen to me next week. So when you're playing a character like Dillon for 4 years, it's kind of helps you keep the performance more natural and more real when you don't know what's going to happen. It's not all so planned out in your head.
It's easier. Go ahead, Jason.
It's easier to react, in other words.
I'm so sorry. What did you say?
It's easier to react.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so, because otherwise you get all in your head, and that's the same way when you're, doing a scene as an actor. I think if you try to plan out every moment exactly how you want to do it, or how you want to react to the other actor saying their line, it's good to think about different ideas and different options, but really if you plan it out too much, then it's not going to come off organic, because you're not in the moment with that actor. You're thinking about all of the things you want to do rather than just living it, And it's taken me a long time to learn that as an actor, because I'm a little OCD, and I definitely am, I like to kind of have an idea of where it's going, or I make lists for my day, and I like to have it all planned out and how it's going to be so that it's perfect. But I've had to learn that that's not going to give the most honest performance, because you don't know what the other actor is going to do, So to just play off of each other in that moment as it's happening, I think is one of the best lessons an actor can learn. And I still have a ways to go, but I've started to learn that, and being on General Hospital every day with these amazing actors has helped me kind of get out of my head and just go for it. And it's awesome. You can't really get training like that or classes like that, because it's just consistent every day, and it's just been so good for me as a person and as an actor.
That's great. You also enjoy, beyond General Hospital, you also enjoy hiking, CrossFit training, rock climbing, and surfing.
Yeah.
When you surf, does it take a lot of work for you to keep your balance on the surfboard?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I have not been surfing yet out here. Well, I've been surfing out here, but I haven't been in a few years. I surfed back at my old college on the East Coast. I used to go surfing a lot with my buddies. But, I can still answer the question, even though I haven't done it in a few years. It definitely takes some balance and some skill, but I grew up skateboarding and longboarding and skiing, and, I was always a pretty active kid, and I guess I've got kind of an athletic build, so I can usually pick up stuff like that pretty easy. But yeah, it's definitely got to, you gotta kind of train yourself, I guess. I was actually kind of lucky. I stood up the first time I went surfing. I stood up on my first wave, and I actually rode it all the way in, which was pretty cool. But I'm not the best surfer. I just, I go for fun sometimes. It's a fun hobby. But yeah, I grew up rock climbing, and I love hiking. Anything outdoors. I just love being outside.
I'm a sports guy myself.
That's so neat. Do you have another question for Robert, Jason?
Where on the East Coast, as you mentioned, the East Coast, where on the East Coast did you where you at when you were surfing?
I was born in North Carolina, and then I lived in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, from the time I was 12 until I was about 20 years old, and then I've been out in California since then. So I'm an East Coast Southern guy. Love the East Coast. There's There's things about the West Coast and things about the East Coast that I love and things that I hate. But it's nice to go home. I still have a lot of family over in North Carolina and in Virginia, and now my older sister lives down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it's really nice to get back there and leave. I love LA so much, but it is nice to leave the city sometimes and go home and just have, green grass and trees everywhere and open road and just, relax a little bit.
Absolutely. The reason why I ask is, of course, we're in Georgia, and you could probably tell by the accents.
I like it. I figured it was somewhere southern, but I do. Yeah, no, it reminds me of home. I'm a fan of the South, so I can respect that.
I wanted to ask you, Robert, before you go, because we thank you for being on, but wanted to ask you before you go, do you have any upcoming appearances or anything you'd like to promote on the show to the fans?
I will be at a event for the General Hospital Fantasy Weekend, I believe it's called, in New Jersey in April. I believe it's April 19th. If anybody would like to come to that, we would love to see you. Go to soapfantasyevents.com, and you should be able to look at all of the upcoming events and see which one. There's going to be some in other cities as well, but the one that I'll be at will be in New Jersey in April. And you can see if you click on the website, the different links will have which actors will be at which ones. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then as far as following me, or if you want to keep up with what I'm working on, my Instagram is at Robert Palmer Watkins, so it's just my full name. And then my Twitter is at Robert P. Watkins. And like I said, you can follow my Funk It Fridays or my music, or I try to post stuff, behind the scenes stuff for General Hospital or whatever I'm working on. So, I'd appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys having me on today. It's really good talking to you.
Thank you for being on. You too. It was an honor to have you on, and thank you for doing the recording for us. And we're gonna actually use the recording along with some wrestlers and singers that we've had to do recordings for us. That's going to be in the new opening theme song whenever the show plays, and we'll get the name changed over.
Oh, cool. Okay, nice. Well, you guys gotta let me know when you get the whole new show set up or whatever. I'd love to come on again and talk to you guys.
Okay, that would be great. And thank you so much for being on, Robert, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, guys. Happy 2016, okay?
You're welcome.
Happy 2016 to you.
Yes, sir. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Robert Palmer Watkins, who plays Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital. And